Can Kundalini cure diseases? The answer is yes as well as no. Kundalini, when spontaneously awakened in you, can cure diseases. But when Kundalini is provoked by you through any practices in the form of yoga, asanas or mantras, and you want to cure diseases by awakening Kundalini, then it may lead to more disaster than any benefit. So I will be sharing with you the wisdom, the insights behind how Kundalini cure diseases when it is spontaneously awakened in you, and at the same time how it may lead to disaster when it is forced through your egoic intention to cure diseases. First of all, if you are having some chronic diseases in your physical body, mental body, or energetic body, you need to understand that it is karmic in nature. Karmic means some of the diseases are caused due to your lifestyle, and some diseases are caused due to your unknown blockages in your energy channels and your chakras, in your energy centers. Your energy channels, your nadis, carry many blockages due to toxicity buildup in your body, and those toxicity may relate to your past lives, karma downloaded in this birth, and due to that you face many unknown problems in your energetic body, in your mental body, through which you are in confusion and you don't know how to process those emotions or those energies that are unknown to you. Some of the traumas could be related to this birth, from your childhood, from your womb you are carrying, or in your early childhood, or in your teenage period. You suppress many emotions in the event of traumatic situations, or in which your preparation is not up to the mark to cope with those events in life. It could be the situation of being born and brought up in a family that is already disturbed. Your parents have continuous fights, or you are located in a place where there is chaos. The neighborhood is chaotic. Your relationship in the family is chaotic. You may be born in a family in which many members are themselves disturbed. They are narcissist in nature, or they have certain trauma themselves which they have not addressed. Sometimes what happens, if your mother or father are having psychotic symptoms, if they are having mentally some problems that are not resolved, then the way they upbring you matters the most on your brain and nervous system and your entire existence, as how you respond to such conditions or situations in life. Sometimes your parents may be over demanding, or you may be bullied, dominated too much in your childhood, in your surrounding, in your school, in your college. Whatever be the external condition, the prime reason for you having disease, any disease in your physical body, is your suppression of emotions and your nervous system going into freeze mode. The trauma that you cannot process in that aspect in which it had taken place remains stored in your subconscious mind in your subtle body in the form of knot, and that knot is primarily in your solar plexus, the region where the diaphragm is there, the solar plexus region. I will show you. This is the place you need to understand, the point where your ribcage ends. This is the point where you are blocked, the diaphragm region. This is the point where you need to as you can see this point is the point of hold. When your solar plexus is on hold, your total system is on hold, because your vagus nerve, your respiratory centers in the brain are all connected here. And when your solar plexus is on hold, your nervous system is on hold, which leads to vasoconstriction in the body. Vasoconstriction means your nervous system and nerves are constricted. And when that happens, your musculoskeletal system is also on hold. The blood vessels cannot supply oxygen and essential nutrition to your nerve cells. And this leads to many diseases because your organs are not receiving the nutrition required for their rejuvenation, for their problems. For example, if you are having problem in your kidneys, if your kidney is not performing well, understand that it could be related to your trauma. If you have problems with your urination, if you have problems with your genitals, understand that somewhere deep down your trauma is lodged in your body, and those are leading to the conditions of illness in your body. Now, when your Kundalini awakens, and it awakens spontaneously, the prime purpose of Kundalini is to purify you, your energy channels, and it works on all levels of your existence. It works on your chakras, it works on your energy channels, it purifies your blood, but through a process. The process of Kundalini is totally unique and different for each individual. The way Kundalini will function in you is totally different from the way Kundalini will function in me or any other person. So, in order to understand how Kundalini functions in you, you have to go into the roots of your problem. The roots of your problem connects to your life lived so far. Till now, you have run away from all the problems by not facing it, because you were running away from yourself, because it is fearful for the nervous system to experience those again and again, the trauma that you have actually suppressed. So, you need to understand that if you really want to heal and work with Kundalini, you have to address those issues with me, the Guru, who will work with you. You don't need to hide away. You don't need to run away. You have to address any issues that you have gone through, and you have to experience it in the present. The disease will not be cured itself until and unless you work on it right now. You can take medications, you can take external healing therapy or anything, but that will not cure you from the core. That will not lead to your disease-free life, a healthy life. The healing has to happen from deep down within. If you want to work with Kundalini, the way Kundalini functions, then you have to change everything that is required in your life. Kundalini function in primarily 3 steps, and how you can transform your life along with this, I will teach you. Kundalini does the functions of cleaning, purifying and transforming you. And this she does spontaneously and relentlessly throughout its journey, till the point you are free, you are purified. And that process may take decades or months or years, depending on how much karma you have to burn in this life. So, let's say the cleaning process of Kundalini. When Kundalini is doing the cleaning process, Kundalini is burning the ojas in your body to produce tejas, and that tejas leads to formation of cosmic prana, and that cosmic prana is like a force which Kundalini uses to ascend higher and at the same time cleanse your body. And when she is cleansing your body, she needs lots of physical supply of raw materials that you could supply from your lifestyle. She needs lots of raw materials in the form of food, in the form of water, and in the form of prana. Now, what kind of food you need and how to process that food? You need to eat lots of vegetables and fruits and fresh food. Fresh food could be in the form of cereals, legumes, then lentils, vegetables, and all these in the form of rice that you cook, or in the form of any bread, chapati, roti, if you can mention in the Indian context, and freshly cooked vegetables are needed. At the same time, you need to provide all kinds of taste to the process of intaking the nutrition from food. Means you need to eat nuts, green vegetables, fruits, citrus fruits, grounding fruits, and everything that is available in nature. All the vegetables, all the fruits, all the nuts, and you have to supply lots of protein in the form of sprouts, in the form of soya bean, in the form of many other nuts that you can, or dry fruits that you can take. All the list of what you can eat during your cleansing process is mentioned in the discourse on conscious eating that you will find on our website innergpsgurus.com, and there you will find how to do conscious eating. The entire process is described there, but in short I will mention that whatever you eat it consciously. When you eat consciously, the nutrition in the food is absorbed by the body in the moment of your process of eating it, chewing it. You need to make your solid food into paste, and then only the body will absorb the nutrition in the food. The saliva in the mouth, whatever you eat, 50% of food should be saliva, and 50% should be the transformation of the food into soupy form. At the same time, you need to drink your water. You need to chew your water. You need to drink your food and chew your water. It means all the liquid that you take should be swallowed by processing it in the mouth, by mixing it with saliva. I will teach sometime later how to do conscious eating, but right now for this discourse you need to understand that conscious eating and conscious drinking is utmost important for you to extract the nutrition from the food, and that nutrition is required by Kundalini to create good quality of ojas. Your body will be producing good quality of ojas only through eating consciously, and that also eating all varieties of vegetarian food. You have to stop eating non-vegetarian food because the dead energy in the animal killed food, meat or anything that you eat, seafood or fish, anything that you eat by killing animals is going into your energy body, and that is a strict no-no for your healing. Kundalini doesn't want you to eat by killing animals. There are so many food options available in the vegetarian food option that all the nutrition it needs is provided by nature. You don't have to kill animals to provide any nutrition to you, because it is this way only. The healing won't happen, because Kundalini cure diseases through the energetic healing process. She is the life force. She is the life energy, and she doesn't want any dead energy in you. So stop taking anything that has dead energy, stale energy. Stop eating junk food. Stop eating too much processed food. You can have spices, you can have natural herbs and everything that nature provides. And in today's time, you will get all the information on the internet. You can research and you can experiment with different kinds of food. Also, you can have dairy products, including ghee, the clarified butter, curd or yogurt, milk. All these are required to provide the calcium, nutrition, minerals and protein available in dairy products. So you don't need to go for total vegan. You just need to become a vegetarian, through which you can have all these kind of food. Your supply of water should increase tremendously. You should drink lots of water. You should drink at least 8 to 10 liters of water if it is required by your body, or minimum of 4 to 5 liters of water every day. The hydration has to be continuous, because lots of combustion keeps on happening throughout your body in the Kundalini cleansing process, and the water is required to freshen up, to detoxify your body, or your physical body, your energy body and your mental body as well. When you drink lots of water, even the blockages in your mind are transmuted, and that is very important. Now this cleansing process requires lot of prana and pure oxygen. How do you provide it? If you are on hold, if your solar plexus is on hold, then most of the time you're not breathing well. You are either doing shallow breathing from your chest, you are doing superficial breathing. Your CO2 and O2 balance in the body is disturbed. In order to breathe in a way so that your body receives ample amount of oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange takes place, you need to breathe in a rhythmic order. Rhythmic order means your diaphragm should move up when you are inhaling, your belly should inflate, and when you are exhaling, it should go down and your belly should deflate. I will show you again. Look at me. When you are inhaling, your belly is going up, and when you are exhaling, your belly is going down. Now what is happening when you are inhaling? Your diaphragm is moving down. When diaphragm moves down, your belly comes out. When diaphragm moves up, your belly goes inside. And all the lobes in your lungs are open. That you need to understand. When you are inhaling in a rhythmic way, your diaphragm is going up, going down, and when it is going down, all the lungs, your chest area, your chest region is expanded and you are able to breathe well. This chest is expanded, all the lobes of the lungs are opening, the entire rib cage is opening, And when you are exhaling, it goes up and the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen takes place. Oxygen is absorbed in the blood. The red blood cells absorbed your oxygen, and then the processing happens. It converts into hemoglobin and then it reaches the cell. Oxygen is supplied to the cell to produce energy. At the same time, whatever food you intake through conscious eating, when digested, assimilated and absorbed by your blood, the nutrition in the form of, it is all broken down into glucose, and that glucose reaches the cell. When your cells produce energy, they need oxygen and glucose. And in this entire process, without the prana, this process of generation of energy in the cells cannot take place. The prana is absorbed in your energy channels. And when prana is absorbed by your breath, the oxygen carries prana along with it. Oxygen is in the form of molecule, but prana is in the form of cosmic electric charge. The charge is required for good quality of oxygen to enter your body, to enter your system. Only when your oxygen are charged with prana and your cells receive those quality of oxygen, then only the quality of energy produced in the body is of higher quality, and that higher quality of energy leads to the repair, rejuvenation of your entire system. Your nervous system is rejuvenated, your blood circulatory system is rejuvenated, your digestive system, hormonal system, your lymphatic system, your musculoskeletal system, everything is connected to how you breathe. Moreover, the breathing that I showed you, this should be rhythmic. Rhythmic means it should be in the form of pendulum. Inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation and exhalation. This should continue and it should be involuntary in nature. If it has been disturbed due to the hold, you start practicing belly breathing, inhalation and exhalation continuously. At least you do it for 21 days, 4 times in a day, 15 minutes or 30 minutes of continuous belly movement practice. Your nervous system has gone into hold, and that has led to all the diseases. Now you need to reverse this process. How to reverse it? By entraining your nervous system about how to breathe again. It is like your gut is your second brain. Your solar plexus is connected to your gut region, and when you are breathing deliberately, voluntarily training with your presence to breathe in a rhythmic way, that sends signal to your brain that all is well and the freeze mode need to be released. The signal is sent to your brain centers in the amygdala. The amygdala is the part of the brain that has led to the freeze mode due to the trauma that you have experienced so far. Every time you suppress any emotion, the amygdala turns on the freeze mode, and that activates your sympathetic breathing. When your sympathetic breathing is on, you are all the time doing chest breathing or shallow breathing. And when you are in rest and digest mode, your parasympathetic breathing is activated and you are breathing slowly, gently, leading to the intra-abdominal pressure created by the diaphragm. When your organs are all the time receiving this intra-abdominal pressure, they are exercising, they are getting exercise. Your digestive system, which includes your liver, pancreas, spleen, stomach, everything, gallbladder, everything is being exercised, and all these organs are located in your abdominal region. At the same time, your small intestine, large intestine, your gastro-abdominal region is also getting exercises. When all these are happening, your respiratory system is also getting exercise, because what happens when this diaphragm is moving up and down like this, your lungs, your heart and your rib cage is getting exercise, and these leads to the exercise of all the muscles, all the organs in your torso region. And when this part of your body is totally under your control, or you are taking care of this, your vagus nerve is activated, because after certain time when your sympathetic breathing and parasympathetic breathing are balanced, then these organs receive the blood, oxygen rich blood that they need to produce energy, and everyone is receiving what they need. And when all these happen, the ultimate process of creation of ojas happen after your digestion, after your bones, muscles, everything is created in the body. The last part is the energetic. It is like the cell wall of the cells are produced at the last, but they are like protective layers of the cell wall. Similar is the quality of ojas that is produced at the end. Now, when you have good quality of ojas, most of your diseases are cured, because you have healed the cells, and the physical problems are connected to your cellular dysfunctioning. The cells are not getting rejuvenated, and through this process of conscious eating, conscious breathing, conscious drinking, you are cleansing the total process. You are detoxifying your system along with Kundalini. And what is the function of Kundalini in all this? She makes sure that there is no more toxicity in your body. So whenever there is toxicity, build up blockages in the body, Kundalini will do her function of releasing these toxins through multiple spiritual and energetic ways. And this process of cleansing, when happens, it burns all the toxicity in your karmic body as well. This process happens in the energy body as well. In the energy body, lots of combustion happens that leads to blockages clearing, and in the energy body, instead of the toxicity that is released in your body in the form of carbon dioxide, in the form of carbon monoxide and other gases, sweat and stool formation, all these things that happens in your physical body. In your energy body, apana is getting released. Then apana is like toxic, smoky layer of energy that happens when your karma burns. And this cleansing process next leads to the process of purification. The purification process is similar to this, but on a more advanced level. Kundalini will make sure that you remain healthy. So it will make sure that you are not going into addictions, you are not going into any kind of unconscious living. It will increase the consciousness in you. She will increase the awareness about your life. She will make sure that you remain healthy. So after curing the diseases on the cleansing level, she purifies you, and she introduces sadhana in your life. She introduces spiritual practices in your life through which you remain pure. Through dedicated sadhana given by the Guru, you remain pure and ensure that no more blockages you are creating, no more karma you are creating. And that is a total different process in which you have to change your lifestyle completely. The way you are living, you have to take some steps in terms of leaving the matrix, in terms of cutting your knots with the toxic people in your life. You have to act practically on many aspects of your life which you had kept pending. And when all these things are happening, slowly but gradually your knot in the solar plexus is opening. And when your solar plexus is open, your vagus nerve and your sushumna will be activated. And that will actually lead to curing of diseases in your physical body, mental body, and energy body. Moreover, the last process, that is transformation, that is totally different, which happens after all the cleansing, all the purification has happened. That is the last stage of your healing. And mostly if you are in your Kundalini awakening journey and your Kundalini has awakened spontaneously, then after cleansing all the chakras and after ascending all the chakras, Kundalini will finally become free and she will meet consciousness in the crown chakra. She will free itself and you will experience what is called enlightenment, ultimate freedom, liberation, moksha, samadhi. But till the time you reach samadhi, you go through hell, you go through many physical diseases, you go through many mental issues, brain and nervous system related health issues, and these all needs dedicated devotion towards the process of Kundalini completion. Without going through the cleansing process, without going through the purification process, you cannot be transformed. The transformation is possible only when you are with Kundalini in this journey. And for that, you need the guidance of the Guru all the time, because these wisdom could be shared with you, but to implement in your life, your brain doesn't function already. Your nervous system is already under threat. So to reverse the response of the nervous system, you need a strong person with you to change your neuroplasticity. The respiratory centers in your brain need to be reversed, and it could be done only through dedicated practices which is required for you exclusively. You cannot do any practice or any technique that will work on you. You have to work on your trauma. You have to work and deal with and heal with your trauma. Alright, so this was just an introductory understanding how Kundalini can cure diseases. In case of induced Kundalini, if you are inducing Kundalini, she cannot cure any of the diseases. In fact, it will lead to many other problems like psychosis, and you will have all the other symptoms of hallucination, and brain and mental health will be totally disturbed. Whatever it may be, if you are having diseases and you have accidentally Kundalini has awakened in you, then also you can consult me, because I can help you by diagnosing you, and whatever best is possible I can do to process Kundalini in you, and for that you have to take these steps, whatever I will tell you. Alright, so have a great day. Bye bye. Thank you.